Alright, hey everybody, Jared Napolitano here, JNAP. Kind of an impromptu Retro League stream going on right now. We have the top table doing this kind of on a last minute thing. It's my own fault, but yeah, this should be a good matchup. So I'm just beginning to set up a little bit here, so bear with me. And I'll promote this a little bit. Again, a last minute thing. But looks like we have HiddenBase versus ISB. And this is an interesting format because it's premiered Reflections 2. It's like a time warp to like what, January of 2001. But a couple of things are banned in Agents of Black Sun and Watch Your Step. Since those just dominate this format without it. As you can see, we have starting cards, mobilization points, something special planned for them, which is a fun card because it makes the opponent pay +2 force to move away from a Star Destroyer. Very easy thing to forget about. Imperial Rest Order, pretty standard for ISB. And then we have HiddenBase, which DRTORCH has been known to play on numerous occasions in numerous formats. Let's see. This link isn't working. Oop, that's not going to work. Hopefully people can just pop in the Discord. But yeah, thanks for joining, Joker King. Hopefully you can let me know, and any other viewers, if I sound okay, if the screen looks okay. We have two 2-0 locations on the table. So it's a very blank slate. If you are an open player, you're probably like, where are all the starting cards? Or where are all the cards on the table? So, all right, great. We got Large Porg and Rabbit, Eddie. Good seeing you guys. So yeah, we'll get this exported up to the YouTube once this is done, so people can watch on replay. Maybe we'll do a few giveaways here to reward you folks for tuning in. Andrew, COTVG, very, very good retro player, routinely places at the high end of the events that are done. This Retro League, as well as just general retro events. And then, of course, DRTORCH, everyone knows he's got lots of titles, several top 8s from back in the day. In the Decipher era, he won the Retro League, the inaugural Retro League last year, 2022. And he's been doing well. He is leading the Retro League this year in cumulative points. And I think if he wins this game, he's probably all but sealed up the back-to-back title, which is impressive. The first 4 events were won by 4 different players. Brad Kipple won 1, Timo Dussel won 1, who also won the annual one back in April that premiered a special edition. DRTORCH won 1, and the first one was won by John Carr. So we've had 4 different. Each of these events, the winner gets an uncut sheet. They're all common and uncommon ones, but it's a pretty cool prize. So yeah, so Andrew, he teams up a lot with Dark Deal 44, aka Kevin. I know they test a lot. So yeah, as we're just seeing again, initial stuff, Imperial Command pulls Admiral Piet. Probably going to be deploying him to a docking bay and pulling Commander Merzik, and then getting systems out is probably how that's going to go. Interesting that we're seeing the combo anti-sense alter here. Makes sense. I guess nowadays you'll see those usually more shields. Strike planning, he pulled General Calrissian, who then he can pair with the Falcon because of squadron assignments. Get them out pretty cheap because Rendezvous Point ships deploy -2, hyperspeed +2. So like the Falcon, hyperspeed 8 moving from there. So they could go just about anywhere all the way down to Parsec 5 from the Rendezvous Point, which of course is Parsec 13. Piet goes there, he picks up the activation bonus of +2. So I'll try to set this deck out. I did not plan for this as well as I would have liked to, just a lot going on, but we'll stabilize here and do some giveaways, and hopefully I'll provide some more helpful commentary to this. Yeah, I'll try to insert some announcements so people are aware, whether you're an open player, whether you're, of course, a retro player. This is cool because this is a new wrinkle for this year with the Retro League. Like I said at the beginning, where this format I find impressive. We did an in-person event in this format. I think we did, right? Was it in person? We definitely did the annual online retro event. Was I'm getting my formats mixed up. I think it was 2022 was premiered Reflections 2. Oh, no, it was in person. It was at Worlds 2021 in DC. Because I remember I played Watch Your Step, and I played, I think, My Kind of Scum, and Watch Your Step just wins just about every matchup. So it's good. I played it. I think in my 6 games at that event, all 6 games, the light side player was Watch Your Step. And I think I ended up going 4-2. I lost to Steve Skilton, who won the event ultimately, I think, and I lost to Matt Carulli, former Special Projects advocate. He was playing like a beggar Watch Your Step, which just destroyed me. So I have a few systems out here: light side Endor, light side Kessel. Dark side has a little more activation here, going into their turn 2. Traffic control, classic staple of a lot of OG players, but I can't imagine DRTORCH has ever built a, even all the way through Reflections 2, as we see here, a deck without traffic control. Yeah, and I'm streaming from my personal account. I'm a little paranoid. Hopefully my kids, they've all been having, not been sleeping great lately, so hopefully no one wakes up. Hopefully not 2 of them wake up, because then between my wife and I, just trying to get them back to sleep. But worst case scenario here, I might have to dip out, but hopefully not. And then if that happens, I'll hopefully grab a replay. I should be able to grab a replay from one of these 2 players and do a nice, quick, clean stream at a later time. But this is usually a perfect time for me to commentate once the kids are in bed and not super late East Coast time. Of course, DRTORCH is out on the West Coast, and I think Andrew's in he's either in New York or actually he might be somewhere else. I think he's originally from Long Island, but I'm not sure where he is now. I think he's on the East Coast though. All right, so Marajik's out. Marajik deploys Fondor. Nothing too surprising there. I probably need to. I haven't streamed in a while. It's just been a crazy couple weeks. Let me look at the scroll here. I always like updating the scroll for the streams because I always do at the bottom. You guys might notice nearly 430,000 games played on GEMP. We are now over 450,000 games played. Seems like we're going to hit 500,000, I don't know, 9 months or so. I think our burn rate of games is usually between 5,000 and 6,000 games per month. Back in the COVID times, there was a couple months we were like 8,000, 9,000. I think the bots, which I think at one point there was 4 bots going, they've been more limited. They kind of come and go. I think there's some limitations on them. Dark Deal's got a new Twitch handle. We got Draw Their Fire coming out. DRTORCH to play. So, I mean, usually you don't want to deploy Draw Their Fire or First Strike until right before you're going to battle. But there's also sometimes reasons that you do deploy it before then, like you're sensitive to mana, Grimtoss, so you're trying to manage your hand and dump cards that you can while also respecting that. Or maybe, the crux of your deck doesn't rely on a game-ending beatdown, in which case you don't really care about kind of letting the cat out of the bag about putting Draw Their Fire or First Strike down. So, yeah, when 4 comes out, so it's still set up here through 4 turn cycles, I guess I'll say, two turns. I actually, just beforehand, I was making sure I had all of the prizes for the Retro League in one place. So we have playmats. Those are going to go to 8 lucky, I'll call them diligent players, so people that have played in at least 4 out of the 5 events are eligible. There's a bunch of prizes for people that just have played in all of them, period, not necessarily winning through random stuff. We got some sealed stuff every event. There's a couple of random items like swag and sleeves, and of course every event that someone plays in, they get a rare, stickers and pins and all that fun stuff. So I'm getting that all together. This league is supposed to wrap up in another week, and like 2 weeks probably, and then we'll do then we'll assign out the cumulative league prizes, I'll say, as the signal pulls Rebel Fleet. So DRTORCH getting ready to start canceling some Force Drains once Andrew gets set up. So this might be a slog of a game where lots of Force Drains are limited or canceled between HiddenBase and ISB. I'm afraid I don't really know what's favored in this format, in this matchup. I feel like it's probably going to be a grind, no matter what. All right, so out comes the Executor for 10, so 2 more Force still. Of course, Andrew can move Marajik and Piet over. Another thing I was going to mention about the Retro... I talked with Steve Sanders, who's the tournament director for the Retro League, and Andy Talaga. we're going to organize a end of year, I guess, retro recap stream. That should be a lot of fun. I think on that stream will be a good opportunity to determine and announce the 8 people that are winning the playmats and some other fun. There's also going to be one uncut sheet is going to a random diligent participant of the league. I think it's Endor Common Dark Side, I want to say. So yeah, that's fun. Look out on social media or just the forums, the Retro League forum, for news about that. But that should be fun. Do a wrap up. Maybe we'll have a couple guests on too, participate in the league, as the executor moves from Fondor to Endor. And Andrew, it's only a drain of 1, right? Because it's -1 unless there's an Imperial and Endor. Yeah. So yes, that'll be a fun stream. We'll prep an agenda, and that'll be cool getting back into it. As we're kind of in the off season, entering the off season. I think last November, I did not play a single game. I think from November 1st to November 30th, I didn't play a single game, and it might be the same this year, just with other stuff going on. And I'm trying to get a huge round of prize shipments out, try to get as many people caught up as possible, and getting pretty close to doing that. There's a lot of people that have like 1 prize, and it's almost like, especially if they're like international, like it's kind of iffy. So I'm hoping to like combine it with people because it gets pricey. But anybody who's gotten like 4, 5, 6 more different events that they've earned prizes for, they should expect something very soon, which is pretty much most of the Retro League players. Yeah, so with the Monarch for the Rebel fleet, so now of course Dr. Torch is going to be able to manage his hand, get rid of duplicates, get rid of cards that aren't relevant, dump them down during his control phase because of traffic control. Kashyyyk comes out. Light side has now got Kifix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battleground systems out. Rebel fleets deployed. You can flip once you deploy to 5 battleground systems. Yep. Something you guys might be aware of, that there's this remaster project. So you see on this HiddenBase, it's real ugly because it's got this errata slip on top of it, and they've been going alphabetically. And you might notice, so at some point this is going to get fixed where it's going to blend well. I think Rebel Strike Team has the same situation where the backside is just real ugly. As we see Dash come out with Outrider, he matched it from reserve deck with Squadron assignments. So there's a post in the announcements forum that explains that whole remastered project and what they're doing with the Decipher errata cards. It's really cool. All the virtual cards have been, almost all of them, there's a couple sets left, but it just makes the cards look so crisp. I actually just did, as I'll show you guys real quick because we're still kind of in the early stage here. Like Dutch, for example, I saw a post on social media about this guy's birthday, the guy who played him. So I don't know if I can zoom in really well. You guys might not be able to see it, but the image is just so much clearer and high res. Yeah, maybe you can. It might be tough, but yeah, it's a really cool project that's going on. So any of those cards that had like errata, so pretty much any card that was like adds to the power of any starship he pilots, all those were technically errated, and those are in scope of the this project. So they're going to come out and the digital versions are going to be much crisper, cleaner, easier to read. It's really cool, and it's good for just sharing pictures of the cards as we see the landing claw attach and block the strain of 1. We have obviously no battle plan, battle order out. Both players activating similar amounts, 12 and 13. Barely any cards in the lost pile. And yeah, we'll see where this goes. So lots of exciting stuff going on. I'll just tease different things as we have kind of lulls in the action. Some of the cool things about the benefit of doing a stream live is there's more suspense. You're seeing what's going on. One of the downsides sometimes is there's some downtime in between actions, and players are rightfully thinking and planning out their moves and their turns. So the good thing about that then is we have some opportunities to do announcements and public service announcements and give away some prizes with some trivia, perhaps. Give away some GEMP AI packs, which are virtual cards, but also some other neat things as they warranted. So Landing Claw, definitely a card that has its share of counters throughout the years. And we have the attach, so it's now Andrew's deploy phase. Yeah, I've had the Landing Claw has been very helpful to me in some prior events. There was one time I think I had it canceled 3 times in one game. Captain Jonas, ISB agent. And we have Endor come out to convert, so that's from hand. So now that is a Draina 2 if you can do something with the landing claw. There was a bit of a resurgence of Endor operations this past weekend at the Endor Grand Prix. Yeah, I guess it's pretty thematic, timely, I guess we'll say. But this is just a really good system. It's a Drain 2. Light side ships are +1 deploy there, and +1 to move to there. Yeah, not from there. So we have Ozzel, Outer Rim Scout, Dark Side flips. Now they can start retrieving agents if any do end up in the lost pile. In this format, there's not a lot of ways to get rid of this ship, right? I mean, you probably have to fight through an Imperial Command. So, I mean, even if you do, there's just so much forfeit on here. So if you're DRTORCH, you're probably thinking, I'm not going to eliminate this ship. So you're going to adapt his game plan accordingly. There's some potential to over-deploy. He's got 5 pilots on there. But if it's not threatening any damage, until the landing claw gets canceled, there's no real push for Torch to challenge the ship. Move. Yeah, this is a cool card. Sometimes it gets snuck into open games, and that move a starship from the same location as your destroyer requires +2 force. So get towards your opponent's turn. If they don't save force, that could lead to a beatdown. All right, so Andrew replenishes his hand up to 12. Fun fact I learned this weekend: there was a tiebreaker at the Endor Grand Prix, and per the tournament guide, so they had time was called. They had the same number of cards face down in their life force. So then you compare lost piles. They had the same number of cards in their lost piles. And then the next tiebreaker is whoever has the fewest cards in hand. And you're probably like, well, fewest cards, well, it should be better if you have more cards in your hand because that proves you have like more pseudo life force. But the argument is if you have the same cards face down and same cards in your lost pile, it means you have more cards on the table, in theory. I mean, unless there's a lot of cards out of play, because that's the only other place the cards could be. But you're kind of getting credit for having more cards on the table and saying, well, this person, instead of holding back cards in their hand for one reason or another, they dedicated it to the table, so that should give them the nod as a third tiebreak. So that was an interesting level. I mean, after that, I don't know if you go to Sabak or coin flips, but it can get pretty detailed. Control tunnel vision played, so DRTORCH is going to grab a card out of his 13-card force pile. Looks like you put 1 card back with traffic control. I mean, I guess, like, in theory, in this format, right, you can get our Lord and Savior, Lieutenant Tarn Myson, give him a gun. I'm trying to think of how to cancel immunity. There's lots of cards in open that cancel immunity for, and like Green Leader and Green Squadron 1, or Lightmaker is a Corvette from the Rogue One movie. But if you could do an All Wings report in, like a Darklighter spin, which is in this form. Oh no, it's not, because that's a Coruscant. You could do Darklighter spin, but I don't think that card was ever played. It's a Destiny 3. But if you like substitute maneuver, you had some crazy high maneuver. Substitute that and then draw 1, so you're getting through the command, which caps you at 1. So let's say you draw a total battle destiny of like 12, 13, and if you had Tarn fire and knock out all the forfeit on the ship, they're not immune, and none of the pilots cover, so that's how you take down the Executor. One way to take down the Executor, or maybe you like sense the command and draw like 4 battle destiny, but that's not going to do a lot against just the massive forfeit. Like, you got Oswald who's 6, P at 6, Marajik 6. The Outer Rim Scout's only 3, right? Jonas is 5. But yeah, power pivots also. If you got a gun there, you just reduce the power a lot, and then they might just have to lose a lot of the pilots to make up for the power difference. Yeah, power pivot's probably the best. So you need a weapon and some high battle destiny. So it's not just like, oh, they just lose 2 pilots. You really want them to lose like 4 or 5. So he had Decree non-V deployed from Andrew. He has one Rebel. Well, no, he doesn't. That's not his. This is the light side player. So I guess his game plan for that is probably 2 systems and a planet site. So even not they can be non-battlegrounds. So you can put a ship here, put a ship at one other site or one other system, and then control like a spaceport docking bay. Which very interesting that we haven't seen any docking bays come out besides the Executor docking bay. I wonder if that's intentional or if he keeps activating it or he's holding it back for some reason. I mean, he's got to have a spaceport docking bay, and you would think. I wonder if he just has no other like 1-0s like the Coruscant one or Death Star 2 docking bay. Probably don't need the activation. He's got Marajek, but he actually only has. Andrew has 1, 2, 3. He only has 3 locations on the table. Wow. I guess just with HiddenBase giving him so much, I wonder what the approach is there, because light side's always gonna have a system to either run to or threaten drains at. So I don't think the mindset would be like, I don't want to put out more liabilities of locations. But yeah, between Imperial Rust Order and Commander Marajek, he does have a bunch of ways to get battleground or get locations out, period. So curious play, probably very tactful. Alright, so we have Chimera, we have a barrier, and the barrier goes through. Zuckuss and Misshunter. Alright, so he had Chimera act as the decoy, the Trojan horse, and now you have Zuckuss and Misshunter come down. He's got 1 more force left to battle. DRTORCH might have a trick or two, like a hit and run could run away, or a hyper escape. But now hyper escape would cost, what, 3 force, right? Because of this. Starship from same location requires +2. So so automatic action, the Chimera gets excluded, right, with barrier, so it's inactive. So he probably doesn't have to pay the extra 2, would be my interpretation of the rules. Order to engage would hit if he didn't have Zuckuss, so that the barrier combined with the order to engage is pretty brutal. FYI, that reminds me of so there's if anyone likes to go to Vegas, or anyone's from relative distance to Vegas, or anyone just wants to go to a trip to Vegas, Nevada State Championship is, I think, December. Oh, I should have the date. Middle of December. Batmouse is organizing an event. Supposedly there's a pretty cool contingent out there. I think Jeff Bowman's one of the guys. Has a group, and they're going to be doing a combination of open and retro events throughout the course of 2 days. There's going to be lots of prizes. I know Chris Schoenthal, the tournament advocates, plan to go. That should be a lot of fun. I am jealous. I would love to go to Vegas for a Star Wars CCG event. But a little tough nowadays. All right, so we have Battle Order come out, lateral damage on the Falcon. I guess it's on rendezvous point targeting the Falcon. November 16th, thank you. Yeah, no, Dirty Randy just said he booked his flight. Sorry. So Draw Their Fire is going to work against DRTORCH here. There's no aim high, so Dark Side retrieves a force, the only force in his lost pile. It's a hit, tossed from hand. And let's see if there's any tricks here. Yep, Hyper Escape. So yeah, he should be able to do it, right? So he's got to pay 1 for... oh, no, he doesn't. What am I saying? Draw Their Fire is the other direction. No, First Strike is not out. So, unless, Andrew might have like those rebels can't escape us, which is good for Landing Claw and good for Hyper Escape. So he draws... Oh, nice. All right, 2 birds, 1 stone. So he goes back, escapes the battle, and gets rid of lateral damage. With lateral, if you draw 0, is the ship gone, or am I making that up? No. You just draw again the next move phase. So he could just draw again his move phase and then actually get back out to a battleground. Alright, so that's probably going to be about it for Andrew's turn here. He's got Endor and Kessel loaded up relatively. Draw 0's Kessel run. Okay. Good old Utini effects back in the day. I had a real fun retro game against, I think it was Was it Fatty? Yeah, it was Craig Atkins, I think, and he was playing Our Most Desperate Hour, and I didn't have Secret Plans in my deck, and he retrieved so much force, so many life force came back. But eventually, I was retrieving a ton of force too because I had Scum and Villainy. I was playing my kind of Scum. There had to be there were so many cards retrieved that game, probably like at least like 40, I bet. So I was basically like playing with 80 card decks, I guess, in a way. Um, yeah, so you can move with something special because yeah, like I was saying, the automatic action happens, Chimera gets excluded, so then it's not like a Star Destroyer's there. So yeah, Andrew's asking. Um, so maybe if someone wants to say in like the Jump lobby, maybe, because I can't. In these league games you can't type in the chat, right? Even I wonder if I can as an admin. Oops. Chimera was inactive from the barrier, so something special. Yeah, I don't think most people can. That's a pretty cool power. So because I have the star permission, um, I guess I can type in league chats. That's why I did the test first. I wasn't sure I was going to go through. Um, so yeah, so sometimes this happens, and it's like frustrating when players are talking and you can't, like a spectator can't say anything. So their probably first option is go to the Jump lobby, see if anyone's like, oh yeah, I'm watching it. Um, so yeah, so this power that I have, that's how I give out prizes. That's how I change the message of the day. Um, can do a few other things. Set up events. Although anyone with a plus can set up Jump tournaments. Um, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's I think Echo Base Trooper told me that once and that's how like when we had world championships online. We had some majors online back in the COVID times. So like it was good that someone could, someone of authority like the tournament director or rules person could hop in, and if they had that capability, they could explain it so people don't start being like, whoa, this is kangaroo court. We can't finish this game out now because there's a glitch or there's a Jump bug, which I don't know. Maybe Joker King might back me up. Maybe like 95% of the time when people think there's a Jump bug, it's oh, I didn't know that about the rules. Because yeah, and that's what's really good about Jump, I think, is it teaches people the rules and force nature of it. It's like I said, there are bugs time to time, but for the most part, it's like you find out revelations of, oh, that's how that works. And the competing automatic actions is a real common one. So like when a battle's initiated, someone's barriered. Like for example, if you have a card like Scum and Villainy an option. No, Scum and Villainy automatic. Then you have to pay if they have aim high out. But yeah, just all those interactions when you have a battle initiated and just actions start unfolding. Yeah. All right. So DRTORCH's turn pretty straightforward, right? He pretty much just tried to match Red Squadron 1, missed on that, moved the Falcon all the way down to Kashyyyk, and drawing all the way through the soft limit of 13. In this format, I'd be curious. I didn't do this event. I did the previous 4 of the Retro League this year, but this one, just with OCS coming up, and there was just a bunch of things going on that I was just like, I'm going to take this one off and go from there. So that's why I didn't do this one. But that's why I'm not quite as in tune. I wonder, my point was I'm curious how much like shocking information Grimtosh is used and Evader Monarch is used. Because those are Reflections 2 cards that are pretty new. With Crush the Rebellion, you can, of course, upload the Monarch, and it gets immune to Sense, I believe, too. But in Scramble Transmission, I think I remember seeing some conversation about how important that card is. That you can pull shock so that your opponent can't just manipulate your hand. All right, so Grand Admiral Thrawn. Yeah, Scramble Transmission was a card that took a long time to get coded. Thankfully, I think Echo Base Trooper did it. But like that whole aspect of the cards that examine, I think that's the wording, are lost. So it's an interesting thing to code. All right, so Hidden Base gets flipped during Darkside's move phase. Let's see what happens from there. And now Andrew is going to have to pay to draw. And of course now Andrew can start probing systems during either deploy phase. Oh, my jump crashed. Come on back. Uh-oh. That's not good. All right, we're back. Cool. All right, looks like maybe everyone got booted because it looks like DRTORCH just joined the room. What's happening to the whole? I hate when Gem struggles. Someone's probably playing Black Sun, but it's not someone in this league because this league bans it. the EBT used to say that Black Sun really just puts a lot of stress on a server. So time, Andrew's used 6 more minutes, still plenty of time left, 29 minutes on his timer. See what DRTORCH is up to. He activates everything. And he puts 3 cards back, maybe more. With traffic control, yeah, just 3. Pays 3 to drain 1. Andrew's probably going to toss an ISB agent, I'm going to bet here. Because then he can just retrieve it. Yep, Outer Rim Scout from hand. Let's see, what would be, let's do a little trivia. We'll give away like a Gem Digital sealed product. Maybe we'll do, I don't know about a booster box, might be a little, let's have fun. Should we do, because, I mean, if you're not aware, you can do lots of collecting with, on Gem. You know, there's a whole tab that's my collection, I think, and some people, it's pretty cool. It'd be fun. You could fill it all out, or if you get 4 copies of any card, you can trade it in for a foil, which you can put in your decks. That's a pretty neat thing. I know lots of people enjoy that, including myself. So maybe we'll do, what would be a good one? This is premiered Reflections 2. Reflections 2 box would be steep. That's a lot of foils. That's a lot of good stuff for a trivia. Maybe we'll do could do some of the premium boxes. We'll do something like that. Maybe we'll do like enhanced. Maybe like an enhanced Jabba's Palace. Get some. I don't know how you pick one of the 4 different options, or they just randomly give you one of the 4. Like, can you do like EPP Luke box, EPP Obi box? Yeah, the anthology ones are good. I was thinking, it crossed my mind to do like one of the sealed decks, like the Jabba's Palace sealed deck or the official tournament sealed deck one, because you get like 5 rares in there. You get a couple premium cards. Let's do third anthologies, and that's pretty. Third anthology was what, like. It was before Reflections 2 came out, but maybe only like 6 months or so before, maybe a little bit more. All right, so let me think of a trivia question. All right, Endor gets probing his own system because it's been converted. I played against Hidden Base at Worlds this year. I went 5-3. I lost twice to my teammate Stubley, and one of them was real close. It was WAP. We have a plan versus Walkers. The other one wasn't as close. I was one on stream, and we were both playing really slow, and eventually went to time, and it was kind of close. But I played against Clayton Atkin playing Hidden Base, like the I guess it's the Johnny Chu one with all the it can waits, which are very annoying, which are definitely the card you should grab if you ever play against that particular Hidden Base. But I could not find the system. So if in retrospect, if I just guessed better, I think I might have been able to squeeze that out, but that really like just killed my tempo in that game. And I think I had a Retro League game this year where it just kept whiffing on the on the probing. Not all of us can be like King of Jokers here and probe with a probe droid, and you actually get to retrieve a force, since there's a unique probe droid in open, and then regular probe droids, I don't know if they're used very often in ISB. Probably not. They're not very good. But that's like an achievement unlocked, right? And may retrieve one force for each probe droid used to probe. All right, so Dr. Fresh has to step away. We got Blizzard 2 coming after the Endor docking bay. But yeah, HiddenBase is, I don't like playing against HiddenBase. Wonder if he's got security precautions in here, which makes it so that you don't take any battle damage. Where you have a probe card, I think is what it is. So especially if you have like Executor, but that's the one that's least likely to get like overpowered. You're always worried playing against HiddenBase that you're spreading out, trying to probe systems, and they just come down with weapons or some type of beatdown and really just end the game if you're not prepared. If you don't have a GIC, if you didn't save a force and draw the fire comes out, for example, for your GIC, that type of thing. So, yeah, and like I said, like I was mentioning earlier, like this is going to get, see how it's awkward? It's like two different shades of purple here on the sides. So that's the type of stuff that'll get cleaned up when it's high res, like the fonts, even hard to read. These are like the digital files, I think, from way back in the Decipher era. Because obviously, if you look at, you just take a picture of a card with any type of decent camera, it's not going to look like that. All right, Captain Jonas is going to shuttle down. These ones are really bad. The red leader and red one, gold leader on Jump. I don't know. They are so fuzzy. So, gold leader and gold one might be getting remastered pretty soon. So that'll be, I don't know if it's been errated. If it hasn't been errated, I don't think it falls into the scope of the project. Actually, I know it doesn't, but all right. So I know what we'll do. So for trivia, so we'll do trivia question coming up. Whoever gets it right, maybe two people. I feel generous. We'll do it to two people. They get a GEMP third anthology box that they can then open up and get rares, and if it's cards that you've been looking for, and that hey, you got your fourth R2D2 in red 5, and you can convert it to a foil. So that type of thing. All right, so we'll do. So there's two system locations on the table. We got Kifix and Endor. Name two other 2-2 systems. Name two. That could be light side or dark side. I guess you can't use the same one twice. So, like in this case, you can't do Endor. I want two separate systems, but one could be light side, one could be dark. Decipher cards only. I should specify that. So they got to be since we're doing Retro League, it's got to be a Decipher card. No virtual cards. So not Kifex, not Endor. Give me two Decipher 2-2 systems. As Andrew here is doing some shuttling. Oslo goes down. Jonas goes down. Break this down. Whoever wins. Ooh, yeah. Kind of forgot about that one because it's just not a battleground, and it's kind of in its own little world there. All right, so Outer Rim Scout gets retrieved. All right, so we'll give this to N Rabbit and Joker King. Yeah, Dagobah was kind of off my radar. But yeah, Sullust was the one that came to mind because the light side is 2-1, but the dark side is 2-2. At least I'm 99% sure. All right, so we can check Scomp Link Access. Dark, yeah, 2-2. So that's what was my inspiration, I guess. So N Rabbit and Joker King. Should be able to hand those out pretty soon. All right, so Dagobah and Naboo, yeah. All right, so 25-17, Life Force favors Andrew, but he's down 8 cards in hand, so that means they're dead even if you count hand and life. Now Andrew's threatening some actual damage here with 2 and 1. He's satisfying battle order, and Onus. Although of course, so Torch can just cancel, right? And cancel the ground drain with either Rebel Fleet. Well, he'd probably just do the system until he needs to actually start using Rebel Fleet. Alright, Dr. Torch putting some cards back. Drain at 2. Probably going to see at least 1, maybe 2 ISB agents thrown into the lost pile that can then be retrieved. U3PO and an Outer Rim Scout from hand. Yeah, U3PO might not be too helpful in this game because it doesn't seem like light side's going to be threatening any ground force drains. And of course, this is strength of schedule scoring, so it doesn't matter how much either player wins by. They don't have to grind out differential. Once it's kind of obvious whoever is going to win wins, the other person can concede, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a close game or, unfortunately, for better or worse, I'll say, doesn't matter if you win the game by a lot or win the game by 1. It's ultimately the same as standings, and it's ultimately any tiebreakers are dictated by on how strong your opponents throughout the event did. Alright, we got a battle here. We got a little B-Wing. I shouldn't say little B-Wing. Blue Squadron B-Wing with an intruder missile. So Dr. Torch probably has some tricks here. We got the draw their fire swing. No aim high, no secret plans out, so free retrieval. Sullust from hand. That's one of our answers to our trivia question. Tossed by Andrew. Fire the intruder missile at Chimera. A 6, which I'm sure he had tracked because of traffic control. So that's going to hit. And I guess he's probably going to maybe have like a power pivot. Intruder missile goes to use pile. And or maybe he's just gonna like Hujix. What other tricks can he have here? Alright, so hit and run, move the ship away. Alright, so he just picked off Chimera and ran away. The bomber. That's a fun rule. All B-Wings are technically bombers per the advanced rulebook, even though they don't say it in their title or lore. So if you ever see a card that refers to like a bomber, like I think concussion missiles deploy on bombers or freighters or transports. So Chimera's gone. Maybe this is Dr. Torch strategy. He's just gonna drop a B-Wing with a gun, or not a gun, a weapon, fire, run away. Hit and run is a tough card. There's not many counters for it. You could almost use it as like a Gick or like a Hujix, or you could use it like that, like offensively pick somebody off. Not that it's only a Destiny 3, but it can have lots of uses. Alright, so, and he had to spend the 3 there, right? For something special. Yeah, 3 forced to move away. So normally 1 and then +2 for something special. Yeah, Blizzard 2 is one of the cards that's been remastered. You can see, even though this is from an older set, how much clearer it is, just to drive that point home. Alright, so now Dr. Torch controls 2 systems, so he can cancel 2 drains, which is exactly what he's going to do. So he's not going to eat any damage. And so Andrew can retrieve force, but now he's got a bunch of force in his lost pile that aren't retrievable, like a handful of cards that aren't ISP agents. But light side, alright, we have a probe on Kessel. That's usually, I think you could tell, it usually shows pretty quickly if you hit. That's a refreshing feeling when the objective just lights up, blinks. You go about your business playing normally instead of paying to draw and all that other fun stuff. Alright, so looks like that's a miss, right? Timer's ticking on... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, okay. Phew. Andrew, I was going to say. You definitely know. So that can happen time to time. Neither player's timer is going down. You're just like, oh crap, the game froze. Oh, we have a hit. Oh no, he's just using the objective. Goes for Yavin 4. That is a miss battleship. Alright, so now he's got 3 other options. If you're a newer returning player, remember that Coruscant, even though it's a dark side card, but if like light side Coruscant was out, cannot be the hidden base because the parsec number has to be 1 to 8. I've seen that happen, where someone probes, or no, I guess you can probe any system, but it's impossible to be a 0. I mean, if you're playing in person and your light side player doesn't realize that, they might be like, nope, miss. And then at the end of the game, you say, let me see it, and then if they were to show you a 0, you'd be like, wait a minute. Either you were cheating intentionally or you didn't read your own cards. But if you are the dark side player and you're probing 0, you're basically just wasting a card on Gemp, because Gemp won't let the light side player use it. Good old fun with rules enforcement, automatic rules enforcement. All right, so Andrew gets Outer Rim Scout back, and he's going to pay to draw. And look for cards. Sorry, I just had to respond to something. Alright, so you didn't really miss any action here. So, Boba Fett and Slave 1 hanging out in Kashyyyk. This kind of says to me that he might not have a Gek, because if I was him, I would maybe try to spread out. Go to... Right, he could have gone from Yavin. I guess, like if you move in front of Kifix, yeah, so he moved from Yavin to Kashyyyk with Boba Fett, and moved from Kessel to Kashyyyk from Zuckuss. I wonder what the logic is, like why wouldn't he just go Sullust and Kashyyyk, and if he had a Gik, and then just try to cover 2 more, like Executors here, holding down Battle Order for him. He really needs to get that system probed so he can get some drains through. But I guess even if he places out of play hidden base, you know, DRTORCH, if he's got these non-unique, like Blue Squadron B-Wings, or I don't know if he's got any Red Squadron X-Wings, stuff like that, he could just keep canceling drains with Rebel Fleet. Because Landing Call is covering up a drain. If DRTORCH kicks him out of space, that's really going to hamstring, is that the right phrase? Andrew from putting any damage through. Alright, Red Squadron 1 with Wedge Antilles, Red Squadron leader. He's got 3 cards in his reserve deck, and of course, he probably knows what those are because of traffic control. Drain through Kifix, he lost RAs. Oh, there's the secret plans. Probably a little bit helpful, but not huge. And then the Outer Rim Scout off the top, which you want to lose ISB agents pretty much. All right, Tycho Selchu on Pulsar Skate. Interesting. So that'd be a matching ship for Wedge, but Wedge also has his other ship in here. I wonder if he's got Myrax to try to do more tracking. X-Wing Laser Cannon, Rutro. Yeah, so Andrew really needs to kick here, or that's going to be a lot of overflow, because he's going to be able to kick out Zuckuss pretty easily. He's going to be able to cancel a Battle Destiny that Boba Fett and Slave 1 draws, because of wedges with another Rogue Squadron or Rogue Squadron pilot right in there. No ambiguity if he qualifies. Another outer rim scout to the draw their fire swing. Hit and run comes back. And here comes the shot. Presumably he's gonna. I guess he probably doesn't even. Oh, he has to pay the 3 to make it immediately lost. So he probably easily has the destiny to get rid of Zuckus, but he wants to make it go immediately lost. Yeah, so he's going to get 3 plus 3 is 6. It's only maneuver 3, so easily goes to the lost pile. Like situations like this, if you're a newer returning player, you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I deal with that? How do I deal with the X-Wing laser cannon? Obviously, in open, there's a lot more cards, so there's more counters, which some people say is good in that it prevents stuff like this from happening, like blowouts or big swings, but some people might say it limits creativity because no one can prepare for all the different types of stuff. So you it's good in a way that games end, beatdowns happen, but if you're trying to build a deck that's very capable to handle lots of different decks, you're not going to like these swingy type cards or things that kind of come out of nowhere. But here we're going to have a 5, so it's going to be 21. This is only forfeit 4. Right, so we're looking at 10 overflow here. But in this format, like, I'm trying to think of what counters for starship weapons. There's not a lot, right? You hope for like a rebel barrier or something or imperial barrier to put it on the X-wing. Maybe that gets you out of it, because the X-wing cannon can only go on X-wings. You're kind of banking that maybe DRTORCH doesn't have an X-wing in his hand, but he probably does. Yeah, Overload's a good one. That's a card that's even still used nowadays. So you Overload, you just draw a destiny less than the destiny of the weapon. So you target any weapon. You can do this as a top level action. Draw a destiny, weapon loss. You have to draw less than a 5. So that would stop that. If they have a second gun in their hand, if they have a second X-Wing laser cannon, that doesn't really help you. So it looks like this is a no Gick situation because he would definitely play it if he had it. You don't want to peel 10. Gick and Hujix are not nowadays. They're in just about every deck, but I think in this era, not quite as much. Masterful moves around to pull it, which is good, so you don't have like a floating 1. A Masterful move, of course, has some good utility against like Savrip. I think at this stage, Antalian Savrip was probably like pushed out of the meta basically, just because Masterful move existed. But yeah, I wonder if he even has the Gick, because usually like these big blue ISB decks, you're not really anticipating to lose battles, but against HiddenBase, you gotta be very careful going to space. So I wonder if DRTORCH is like, he consolidated his ships, that screams he doesn't have Gick, let me go attack now, as opposed to, it's also probably the MO of this HiddenBase deck, is once Dark comes to space, you barrier them and you beat them down and kick them out so they can't stabilize and probe the system. Because once the system... Oh, yeah, nowadays. So Gick combo. Yeah, that's right, that came out. These combo cards I have to keep asking myself, are they Coruscant or are they Reflections 2? Like, All Wings Report In combo is Reflections 2. Or is Coruscant, rather. And like the Battle Order combo, Imperial Arrest Order, and Secret Plans, like all those are Coruscant expansion, which is after this. That came out September of 2001. So we see Admiral Chirnu go, Officer Evax, Andrew's debating his other 8 cards. Yeah, I wonder, Andrew's got to have that Landing Claw Canceller somewhere in here. The annoying thing with Landing Claw, right, is that even if you cancel it once, it's not super hard for Lightside to kind of recur. They can run 2. They could play a Baragwin or a Yoxkit, put them as like a passenger on a Y-Wing or something, or on the Millennium Falcon. And you just recur it or retrieve it, I guess, either way. So that's where it's like, and that's where I know over many years, I think design has struggled to find what's the best way to get rid of land. Like, keep it somewhat, like, not kill the card entirely, but also make it not super like overly strong. So, and there's the Gick. So Gick non-combo, of course, second to last card he lost. Battle Deployment, Imperial Command, Point Man non-V. Cancels order to engage, lost interrupt 5. If that's the only thing it does, it's probably worth playing, I guess, right? Because order to engage is in a lot of decks in this era, all of this era. From what I don't understand it. I mean, I know it's strong, I know it's good, but I guess it's almost as simple as if you just combine with a barrier. You tell your opponent, okay, you lose 3 force now, even though you couldn't actually battle me. But I think this is a foil card too. And in real life, they printed a foil on a regular. Yeah, Demotion. Yeah, so Pulsar Skate. Pulsar Skate's interesting. I wonder if he's got Myrax in the deck. He has to. But yeah, interesting. Anytime I say HiddenBase deck with matching ships, it's interesting because a lot of times HiddenBase is non-unique ships. Especially the further back you go, the more likely they are to be non-unique. Kind of like Echo Base Operations is a non-unique as well. Or it can run a non-unique X-Wing build, put it that way. Alright, so Andrew's now down to 17 hand in life. Torch is at 31, so he really swung. I mean, they were pretty even. They were even for a while, and now it's, what did I say, 31 to 16, so up 15. That 10 force overflow will do it. Here comes Dengar. Let's see if you can probe it. He's got 3 cards in hand. If he hits it, he's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 cards back in his life force, so that'll be pretty good. One thing, if you're a Retro League player or a prospective Retro League player for next year, it'll be the year 3. I'm sure we'll do it again. And Steve and Andy will be involved in the planning and organization of it. But there'll be a survey going out pretty soon. It seemed like it worked pretty well last year. We basically asked, like, what formats did you like? Which did you not like? Here are some that we're considering as we get the probe, and it hits. Okay, so Kifix was the HiddenBase. But yeah, keep an eye out for that survey and give your feedback, because I know it's important in molding what is going to be in the lineup, the 5-event lineup for next year. I know there's certain formats I would never want to play. If the organizers said, hey, Premiere only is going to be one of the 5 events, I'd be like, I'm not playing that event. I'm not playing that event at all. I know that's what I was going to say earlier, but of course I got off on a tangent as we see a bunch of cards put on his use pile. Destiny 1, Boston Houndstooth. Destiny 1, There Is No Try Combo, Bisson Ornament, Guri, Darth Vader, Duck, or the Sith. What I was going to say is this year, 5 events for the Retro League, and they were all between 55 and 57 players, which is awesome. Very consistent. We had some people drop, some people add. Some people like me, I played 4 and then I didn't do the last one. Some people started on the second one, did the other 3, or the remaining 3. Some people just jumped in and did the last 1 or 2. Totally fine. But still really, really cool. And of course it's global, so you can do this if you live in Europe, you live in Australia. I know Adam does it as he loses 3 to order to engage, 3 of the 5 cards he just got back. So it's cool in that. The one tricky part is you have to be willing to just trade some emails to people and coordinate when you're going to play your games, because the events are Swiss style, which I think is better in determining a winner as opposed to, the trade-off with, for example, in Open, we do online championship series where it's basically random matchups the way that other Gemp leagues are done. You just post a table, someone joins it. So it can be a little more, or definitely more random and haphazard on who ends up doing well, because you can go 11-1, but if you end up playing really poor players who are people who do poorly in that event, and there's 2 other people that go 11-1, you're not going to qualify. So I think there's lots of benefits with Swiss events. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who either used to play the game 25 years ago, 20 years ago, haven't played since, or even some casual people that never really played competitively until now. So some people are just brand new to the whole concept of Swiss, which is cool just to get people to learn about. And that's how any in-person event is going to be. The best way to ultimately determine who wins an event rather than just randomizing matchups. But the trade-off for the random league ones is, okay, if you're ready to play a game, you just post it, play it, done. But there's definitely a drawback in that you get some wonky end results. All right, so we have battle here. Blue Squadron 5 with my guy 10 Num. Love this guy. I played him in some decks of Modern. I think he's in a Quiet Mind colony, like a famous Mike Gem deck would play 10 num because he adds 2 to every weapon destiny is B-Wing, and then the ship adds 2. I mean, this thing can hit just about anything, so this is bad news bears for Andrew, so he concedes. Good games to know. So Torch is now 5-0. I think that all but probably wraps up. I think he had like a... I can look it up real quick as we wrap up here, but even if he loses his last game, I think he's probably got the league wrapped up. So good game to both players. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. But yeah, let me just... So this was Table 1, as you guys might be able to see here. Table 2, we're going to try to get that one streamed as well between James and Thomas. We had Eddie reach out about potentially commentating, so hopefully it's great to hear more people willing to get involved in stream. I know there are a handful of other people on the stream team and not technically on the stream team, but they will love to have them who are willing and able to do retro streaming. So Steve and I will try to link up people to have this covered, and even if it's just a replay. But so this is the event. In case if you're ever looking for where the forum is for the Retro Jump League, the cumulative standings are in here. Yeah, so Steve updates this. And it looks like going into event 5, yeah, he had a 6-point lead. So every win is 3 points. So basically, Brad would have had to pick up 3 wins on him. So we've had to go like 6-0, and Dr. Torch would have had to go 3-3. Oh no, am I doing that right? Yeah, I think that is. So like, that would mean that Torch would pick up, you get 1 point for a loss. So he would have gotten 12, and Brad would have gotten 18. Yeah, so he would have tied him. So he needed to go 6-0 and have Torch go 3-3. So Paul Todd Feldman, Dr. Torch, is going to win the league again. So he'll get the trophy and the uncut sheet, which is, I realized I didn't post, it's Premier Black Border Rare, but I didn't specify light or dark in the prize post. So I need to clarify that, but that's just a typo on my part. So I guess congratulations to Paul for winning the league, but of course there's lots of other reasons still for people to play, still to try to finish high. We always try to reward, we always do reward participation. And then, like I said, there's a couple of prizes for, like, we'll call them diligent people that play all the events and are very smooth and easy schedulers, people that Steve doesn't have to follow up with. But yeah, I got to figure out, see, I have it here, Black Border Premier Rare Uncut Sheet in this kind of tough to read orange print here. But yeah, so we'll sort these out. 1st through 8th in the across the league cumulative standings. So all these, I have to go back. 1st through 8th are going to be eligible to get these sealed product, which is pretty cool. Purple poker chips for high performance, and then a bunch of things. Some of these are for everybody, and some of these are for random winners, because we can't give a playmat to every single person. Like it would be very expensive to do it that way. So we'll give out 8 randomly, and then some other fun stuff. So again, we'll do a stream for that. Determine the real what's the word? Real attractive items, give them away. But yeah, it looks like in the hunt for that top 8, that's where people want to finish. So Brad won an event, John Carr won an event, Timo and Andrew looks like he's going to be doing very well again. Another at least 4 wins, maybe 5. Adam Roddick from Australia is doing well. Joe Horby, met him at Worlds this year. That was really nice to meet him in person. Pipitone, another Long Island guy. Sebastian's in the hunt here, so it looks like we're going to have this line around here. Will Tarbox, who won the retro, I think he won. He did really well in an open event in Minnesota. I think he always does pretty well in retro events as well. Party McFly, there's Eddie. So all these folks are in the hunt here to try to pick up some points and get into that top 8. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I have here. About 70 minutes, 65 minutes of streaming. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. May the force be with you, and take care. Thanks.